Hey everybody, he's Steve, I'm Dane. We're here at Newport Harbor High School, and on today's show, we'll take a look back at the fall sports season.
We'll go on campus with Ozzie and get up close with a local legend.
There's all that and more right here on the Newport-Mesa SportScene. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Newport-Mesa SportScene. I'm Dane Bora from Costa Mesa Television.
And I'm Steve Virgen, sports editor of the Daily Pilot.
We're on campus today here at Newport Harbor High School, and Steve, this show, we hope to have a lot of fun just covering sports in the Costa Mesa, Newport Beach area.
Well, I think this is a wonderful area full of great sports, great athletes, great teams, and great coaches. This is why we do it. This is why we do this show.
And I've done television for a number of years, and you've covered sports for a number of years, so I think we're going to have a nice mix. We'll do a little bit with Corona Del Mar, Newport Harbor, Estancia, Costa Mesa. Today we're on campus at Newport Harbor High School, but the goal is to hit all the schools and rotate through.
I can't wait till we get to Corona Del Mar. That's where I'm loved, and that's where I like to be. Very comfortable there.
Well, that's good. Maybe we'll keep that one for last then, just to keep you on edge. So what we want to do now is we want to recap the fall sports season. At the time of this taping, the fall sports season has wrapped up, and most teams are gearing up this week for the CIF playoffs. So Steve, let's recap. There's 6 sports that happened during the fall. We've got girls volleyball, boys water polo, and you gotta love being on campus. You don't know what to expect. It's kind of a new phenomenon for me. Girls tennis, cross country for both boys and girls, and then of course football. But let's start with girls volleyball.
Well, girls volleyball, you got to look at Costa Mesa. Costa Mesa High School had a breakout type year, great year, made the playoffs for the first time in a long time, at least more than 10 years. So they've had a really, really great year at Costa Mesa High School. Newport Harbor just got into the playoffs as an at-large bid, and unfortunately they had a quick and early exit, faced a tough team in Miramont, and they're done for the year. But Corona Del Mar, another great year for Corona Del Mar. Steve Astor is a wonderful coach at Corona Del Mar, and Katie Craig has had a steady year for them all season long.
And then of course, of the 4 high schools, Estancia the only one not to make the playoffs. But let's go ahead now and take a look at how all the teams fared or are faring during the playoffs. Okay, so the next sport, Steve, would be boys water polo.
Boys water polo here at Newport Harbor, Clay Davison and the rest of the seniors, they would not be denied. They wanted to go to the playoffs. They worked very hard and they got in on a last league playoff game. And so that was really their season, that game right there, and got them in.
And with such a rich tradition here at Newport, there was a lot of pressure on those boys because every water polo team in Newport Harbor has made the playoffs.
Yeah, they didn't want to be that one team that missed the playoffs. They wanted to keep the tradition going, and that's why that game was so important to them. And with Corona Del Mar, another Pacific Coast League title for them, and they're a team to watch in the playoffs for sure.
And then of course over at Costa Mesa, you know, that's a good sport, a tradition of success at Mesa. Boys water polo, how'd they do?
Yeah, you just see that team improving every year. They got that new pool over there, and now the new coaches, the Serrano twins, who are alumni there, Cody and Dustin, and they've just really helped that program keep improving every year.
And I know that there's going to be bigger and better things to come because the feeder program, Mesa Water Polo, is having a lot of success too with the younger ages.
Yeah, the Costa Mesa Aquatic Club is always having good seasons. And they're getting good players coming in, and they want to stay with that program.
Now, in your opinion, how much has that new pool on campus benefited them?
It's just made the biggest difference, I believe. Obviously, the coaches and the players help as well, but once that pool got in, you saw everybody, the community back it, and they wanted that sport to be the premier sport at Costa Mesa.
And then, of course, Estancia, the only one of the three, again, not to make the playoffs, but it wasn't a terrible year for Estancia. They finished 11-15 and 2-3 in league. But let's go ahead now and take a look at how the three teams are doing in the postseason. Okay, now we jump out of the pool and onto the tennis court where the girls' tennis season is winding down.
And Corona Del Mar, as always, they finished strong. They got second in the Pacific Coast League, and they met a familiar rival in the first round of the playoffs here at Newport Harbor High School, and they took care of their rival and they moved on in the playoffs.
So Newport finishes second in their league, Corona finishes second in their league, and they meet in the CIF playoffs.
Exactly. It could have been any better for both teams. They wanted that, another rivalry, another chance at each other.
And then over at Estancia, the Lady Eagles finished 9-10 overall, 6-4 in league, good enough for third place. And Costa Mesa, to wrap things up on with girls tennis, they finished 3-10 overall and 3-7 in league. And then that brings us, Steve, to cross country.
Cross country, Corona Del Mar girls cross country is known to be good every season, but this year they had a kind of up and down season, and not just one standout runner, but several runners contributing, and they finished champion in the Pacific Coast League. Here at Newport Harbor Sunset League, they finished in second place. Emily Bacon was a tough runner for them, and she got second place for them.
And I think it's also worth noting that the boys over at Corona Del Mar finished third in Pacific Coast League.
Sure.
And there's definitely a theme weaving its way early on through this show, and it's excellence at Corona Del Mar.
Yeah, another phenomenal year for them. They basically own the Pacific Coast League. Football, girls cross country, boys water polo, girls volleyball, and they even got a league champ in girls golf.
And you may notice that we waited till a lot of the traffic behind us here at Newport Harbor had passed before we brought up how successful Corona Del Mar's been here in the fall sports season. And there was also a runner at Mesa that had a good year.
Ozzie Magana had a phenomenal year. I believe he had like 4 first-place finishes, and Coach Steve Marino was very proud of him. And you just saw a great runner get better and better, and who knows what he's going to do in the postseason.
And I'm just impressed with the way that Ozzie Magana rolled off the tongue there. You notice I just left that out there for you to say.
I noticed that. Thanks a lot.
And then that brings us to the 5th of the 6 sports is girls golf.
Girls golf, the name that stands out for me, it's very hard to pronounce. Aliyah Abdugani of Corona Del Mar won the Pacific Coast League individual title, and she won the CIF Southern Section individual title. And she's only a sophomore. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And Coach Mike Starkweather is just, I mean, he's practically giddy just to have a golfer like that as a sophomore and gets to watch her 2 more years.
That's quite an accomplishment. She shot 3 under in the CIF finals.
Yeah, totally amazing.
All right, so that's 5 of the 6 fall sports. There's obviously a big one we haven't talked about, but before we talk high school football, we have a special feature that we're going to have every episode of the show, and it's called On Campus with Ozzie. Check it out.
Hello, Newport Mesa. My name is Ozzie Magana. You probably remember me from the 2011 Battle of the Bell.
Mario Smith. Fumble. Picked up by Ozzie Magana. Ozzie the kamikaze. Touchdown. Eagles.
But times have changed, and today we're here at Costa Mesa High School to get to meet Coach Corey Johnson and the Costa Mesa High School cheer team. Let's get started.
Oh, yeah!
I may know my way around Estancia, but not Costa Mesa. Maybe they're over here. Eagles, Eagles.
Ozzie, what are you doing here?
Hey, Corey,
It's
I've been looking
Mustangs.
for you.
How are you? Coming over to Mesa now?
Yeah, finally. I heard you got quite the program over here.
We do. We have an awesome team. We're starting out the year great. Last year we were named top program in the nation with the American School Spirit Award for the second time. Just got back from nationals in February where we took 4th place, which is awesome. Football season, water polo season, basketball season, and getting ready for competition season now.
That's great, Corey.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is your 10th year here, and are you pretty excited about that?
Totally excited. These girls are awesome. Every year we just keep getting better and better.
Hi, my name is Rachel Keene, Colette Rhodes, Andrea Ross, Paige LeBear, Kate Piatti, Nora Vartania, Dane Wynn,
Eddie Guillen,
Riley Baldwin, Katrina Heil, Julie Ha. Mustangs!
I'm just really proud of the program and everything Mesa does.
Let me tell you something. You guys have set a level here in the Newport-Mesa district nationally. Tell me what you guys stand by, what you push your girls to do inside and outside of the classroom.
Well, first and foremost, the most important thing is the classroom. They need to get good grades and be leaders on campus. That is huge for any program on any high school campus. Second, skill. We want to get out there and we want to show them that we actually have the skills to stand up to what we say and saying that we're a great program. So the girls work hard. We're out here every single day practicing.
Hi, my name is Lexi Daska, Carly Broomba, Asia Moore, Heather Mitchner, Beatrice Maradiaga, Leah Matani, Alexis Lamelli, Jordan Perung, Carrie Fallett, Emily Nepple, Daniela Morales. 1, 2, 3, 4.
They devote a lot of time. Third, getting out in the community and representing Costa Mesa High School and our community as Costa Mesa as a whole and showing them that these are great future leaders, and we actually do over 10,000 community service hours a year. Do heel stretch, turn, flip over.
That's
so
great.
10 years times 10,000 hours, we've over 100,000 hours of community service with Costa Mesa Cheer.
That's hot.
And
That's
then,
great.
I know. And then, of course, supporting our athletic teams, making sure that we're cheering them on to victory, getting our crowds excited, getting our school excited for rallies.
Want this win. Get it started, dig in.
And then coming home and bringing home our own championship titles in competition, nationals, and worlds.
Hi, my name's Kat Cruz, Perla Fernandez, Harley Short, Emmy Lee, Leslie Castellana, Sarah Quick, Haley Simcoe, Connie Fallett, Hannah Bodenhamer, Gianna Flore, Scarlett Noonan.
Now, these girls are making it look pretty easy right now. You think an old football player can give it a try?
I don't know, do you have skills?
I've got the skills.
Flat on your feet? Okay,
Let's
we're
do
gonna
it.
give it a try. We're gonna try Ozzie out, trying to see if he can be a Costa Mesa cheerleader.
I'm gonna crush this dance routine. I'm ready.
Seriously, Ozzie, it's not that kind of dancing, but since you're ready, we're gonna throw you in there and teach you some dance skills.
So you're gonna prep on 1, and then you're gonna kick your leg up and spin. Okay, ready?
All right.
Prep on 1, and go!
Now that you learned some dance skills, we're gonna really show you the real cheer skills and get you out here stunning with these girls. Think you can do it?
Let's do it. Let's give it
Okay,
a shot.
go change.
All right.
Hi, my name is Cameron Hamilton.
Donna Summer, Kylie Henslow, Madison Rodriguez, Samantha Shepard, Brenna Baru, Laura Tanar, Trinity Pham.
Ozzie Magana. Ozzie Magana.
1,
Hey,
2,
Corey.
3.
Now I'm ready.
Oh, hey, you finally look like an athlete.
Yeah,
okay, let's
thanks.
get you out there. Do you think you can do this kind of stuff over here?
I don't know, but let's give it a shot.
Okay, let's see how well you can do this.
That looks
She
nuts.
is the football, and it is the winning play. You cannot drop it. 1, 2,
Okay.
dip, and the throw.
And then catch.
That's all you gotta do.
Okay.
So you need to, when you're down though, you need to bend your arms a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't be like this. You need to be like this down.
Catch
So
with
that
my
you guys do the
forearms.
same. And then you go up and catch high with your forearm.
Okay.
Yes. And she's gonna put her arm around you and catch into you. She's gonna go up and then you catch her. And then we'll
Okay.
try doing a trick.
All right, let's go over the wrist grab one more
Okay,
time.
So take your right hand,
Uh-huh.
and grab your left.
Okay.
And then you grab onto me.
Okay.
You want to?
Your dip.
Ready? 1, 2. Good job.
All right.
Nice.
Good. You can be a cheerleader.
Sweet. You hear that? I can be a cheerleader. So that's it for On Campus with Ozzie. But first, girls, I got a cheer I want to teach you. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, go Eagles!
Let us show you how it's done. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey, you know it. You know the story. Tell the whole wide world this is Mustang territory. Hey, you know it. You know the story. Tell the whole wide world this is Mustang territory.
So as you can see from Ozzie on campus, Ozzie Magana is quite a personality, and Steve, I'm sure he's a young man that you've got to know over the years.
Oh, he was a great football player to cover, and now I'm just excited what he's going to do for us on this TV show.
And the really cool thing is we can have Ozzie do all the crazy things, and you and I can just sit in the chairs and let him take care of all the things we don't want to do.
I like the sound of that.
All right, so what we're going to do now is take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk high school football, and we'll also have a special guest here on the set at Newport Harbor High School. Don't go anywhere.
Everyone wants to be prepared in case of a disaster.
But stop and think right now, how prepared are you?
With more than 3 million residents, Orange County is one of the largest counties in America. Wildfires, earthquakes, and flooding are all commonplace here.
At readyoc.org, you can find out what to have in your kit, how to make a plan, and how to stay informed. Please join us in becoming prepared for emergency situations.
Our lives and our families depend on it.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Newport-Mesa SportScene. We're on campus at Newport Harbor High School, and along with the sports editor of the Daily Pilot, Steve Virgen, I'm Dane Bora from Costa Mesa Television. And Steve, now probably the sport that's the easiest one for us to talk about, the 6th and final fall sports season, and that's high school football.
Always love talking about football.
Yeah, high school, college, pros, but let's stick with high school, and we'll start with Costa Mesa High School, where following last year's league championship, 5-0 league championship, there was a lot of turnover. Only 5 seniors came back, and it was really a kind of a down year for Coach Wally Grant and the Mustangs.
Totally tough year. They knew it was going to be a tough year, but they didn't imagine it was going to be this tough. A lot of injuries made it tougher for them, and it was a young team. Cameron Corrett, a junior, was definitely a bright spot, as well as Mason Matafa. And Eric Carrasco showed up as a quarterback, and they have definitely something to look forward to in the future at Costa Mesa High School.
Yeah, and Carrasco showed up as a quarterback. We weren't expecting, or we didn't, at least I didn't know who he was. Sam Swanson was the starter, and Sam got hurt. I believe it was the Estancia game, right?
It was the Estancia game.
I should know. I was at the game, but in the Estancia game. So the Mustangs finished 2-8 overall, 2-3 in league, and they were really that final game of the season away from qualifying for the CIF playoffs.
And they had 2 losses in overtime.
Yeah, so a rough year, but maybe not as bad as it looks on paper.
For sure.
And then over at Estancia High School, Coach Mike Vargas.
You graduated from here.
Yep, and was a coach here for 15, 17 years. Another great year for Estancia. They finished 5-0 in league and 8-2 overall, and at this point of the season, at the time of this taping, are riding a 7-game win streak.
Yeah, the 7-game win streak has been really great to see, especially for Coach Mike Vargas. Really great coach, and he's putting in a great year. And of course, he would say he has great players, and one of those great players is sophomore Dylan Laurent. Just a phenomenal player who you can see he just gets better every game, and he's just hard to game plan because he does so much for that team.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw our coverage of the battle for the bell, but at the end of the game, I admitted on camera I have a man crush on Dylan Laurent, but I had to tell him it was kind of just in a respectful, I respect him as a football player way. But the young man, I've seen him now twice in the battle for the bell, and he's a really fun football player to watch. He gets a lot of the headlines, but that team at Estancia is loaded, and they've got a really nice balance of seniors and senior leaders and underclassmen as well. So it's been a great year, but I think the future's bright as well.
And you can't really focus on the run with them because they do have a good quarterback that mixes it up, Connor Brown.
Yeah, junior Connor Brown is he's a fun guy to watch, and he looks the part, that's for sure. Now let's head over to Corona Del Mar High School, where the Sea Kings finished the regular season at 9-1 and another perfect 5-0 in league, but They did stub their toe against Tesoro, and it snapped a 30-game win streak.
That was probably the only negative thing you could say about Corona Del Mar this year. Their win streak ended, but like you said, they won the Pacific Coast League. Their defense has been phenomenal, led by Parker Chase. It's been a really great defense, and just recently, towards the end of the season, they had a change at quarterback with Chase Garbers, sophomore, who's taking over. One of our writers, Barry Faulkner, calls him a Tom Brady because that's how he became the quarterback of Corona Del Mar. Peter Bush moved to tight end.
So now you cover Corona Del Mar and know them a lot better than me. What is it that made them so special this year?
I think the coaches wouldn't want to point to the coaches, but you got to point to the coaching staff once again. It's just a phenomenal coaching staff. Scott Meyer just keeps on plugging away, and he put together a staff that just really, it's just a phenomenal system that's in place right there. But also, I think the defense has just been out of this world. It's been every game. They at least get up to 5 to 10 sacks a game, and you really can't game plan against a defense like that.
Now you've got two schools really closely intertwined here in Newport Beach with Newport Harbor and Corona Del Mar, and they're both always really good in football. How do you explain that? That, you know, you would kind of think that, well, maybe all the football players would go to one school and, you know, maybe the water polo players go to a different school, but those two schools, it seems like every year have excellent football teams.
I think it has a lot to do with the coaching and the area. You get a lot of good players in this area. You got the good Pop Warner, Costa Mesa Pop Warner. We saw what they did recently with the Eagles, and you got a good program with the Newport-Mesa Junior All-American. And like I said, you really can't say enough about those coaches. I mean, they do really well. Coach Jeff Brinkley here at Newport Harbor and Coach Scott Meyer at Corona Del Mar.
Coach Jeff Brinkley in his 29th year on campus here at Newport Harbor.
Another great year for him.
Before we talk about Newport Harbor, let's take a look at Corona Del Mar and how they're doing in the CIF playoffs. So that leaves just one team left to talk about, and of course, that's Newport Harbor High School. We're on campus at Newport, and before we talk about the Sailors, I'm really excited to welcome on today's special guest, senior quarterback Cole Norris. Cole, hop in here and join us.
Thank you, Cole, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely.
So it's been kind of a whirlwind season last year. You guys made it to the CIF finals this year at 5-5 overall. Maybe not quite the season that you had hoped, but just kind of give me a quick overview of.
Yeah, you know, 5-5 where we are right now. It's not, like you said, not where we would have hoped to be. But I remember going in last year, we were 6-5 or 6-4, I believe, at this point. So it's not really too much of a difference. And we make a run, go to the CIF championship, play at Angel Stadium. So anything could really happen at this point. And looking forward to see how the next few weeks progress.
Yeah, some great wins this season. A couple of them, Huntington Beach and Fountain Valley, where you come out in the clutch. One of our writers, David Carrillo Penaloza, he coins you "Comeback Cole." What do you think about that name?
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I guess given what we've done here and what I've done as in the past few weeks with the Huntington game and the just past week in the Fountain Valley game, I guess that's kind of fitting. But I don't know. I just try to do what my team, what it takes to win, and I guess that's what it takes sometimes.
I know you got some more of your senior year to go, but looking ahead, you got Northern Arizona.
Yes, sir.
What do you feel about playing for Northern Arizona?
I can't wait to get to Flagstaff. I cannot wait to get to Flagstaff. The coaches there are great. Me and Coach Scangarello, who's the offensive coordinator, had a great connection right from the first time we met. Coach Sowers is the head coach. Me and him hit it off real well. They're an up-and-coming program, a lot of studs up there who are freshmen. I can't wait to get up there and work with them, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
And you leave quite the legacy here at Newport Harbor. You broke several records. What was it like to break Shane Foley's record?
Shane Foley, he's such a cool guy. He came back last year for the homecoming game, and to break his record, I feel it's so much more satisfying. He's such a cool guy. He's so humble. Like I said, he gave me the quote, records are meant to be broken. So, for it to be Shane Foley, it means so much more to me. It really does.
Is that even cooler than breaking your own record?
I'd say so. I'd say so.
All right, quickly jumping back to Northern Arizona. We're here in Newport Beach on campus at Newport Harbor. You do realize it snows in Flagstaff, right? Okay, because when I think of Arizona, I think of 100-degree weather, Tempe, Phoenix. You're going to Flagstaff. what do you know about what you're heading into?
Yeah, I know it's a lot different. They got a lot of different seasons. I'm looking forward to it though, the whole different change. They actually play in a dome, which is very cool. It's a sky dome. So, me as a quarterback, I love it. Never windy, never rainy, never foggy or whatnot. So it's very cool, and I can't wait to get there and start playing.
All right, you play quarterback, so I assumed you were a smart guy, but I just had to ask just to make sure. Real quickly before we head into the Tesoro matchup in the first round of the playoffs, you guys always, under Coach Brinkley, play a tough non-league schedule, and it was once again pretty grueling, those first 5 games getting you ready for league. Talk about what stood out in those first 5.
Yeah, I feel as we up the competition every year, it definitely helps our team to progress as a team. You got to step up to the challenge, play harder teams. And, CDM was very good this year. Played a few teams. San Clemente's always good. Miracocha is always good. And so I feel it really helps us playing a tough non-league schedule. It really helps us get ready for league and what to expect.
Now, heading into the playoffs last year, it was Huntington Beach High School who got the at-large bid, and of course, you met them in the CIF finals. So, you mentioned it earlier, anything can happen once you get to the playoffs. You're matched up against Tesoro. What do you know about the Titans?
They're good. They're a good football team. They're coached very well. They play hard. So we're looking forward to a good challenge. I know these guys, they beat CDM and ended their streak. So we'll see. It's going to be a tough one for sure. But I feel our guys can step up to the plate.
Where does that confidence come from, you think?
I just feel it comes from the role of a quarterback. You have to instill the confidence in your guys. If you don't have confidence, then how are they going to have confidence when they look at you? So I feel it comes with being the quarterback. It really does. So.
Speaking of your guys, talk about the core of receivers that you have not only this year, but that you had in your other years. Because I know you've been very fortunate to throw to a bunch of really good football players.
Absolutely. With last year with Quest, Truxton, and Corey, they were both such studs. It makes my job so much easier when you have guys out there they run such good routes, and they take pride in what they do. And every time they miss a ball, they're on the ground doing 10 push-ups. So, and this year even too, we knew Keaton Cablé was going to be our go-to guy, but having other people step up, Riley Gaddis has stepped up huge for us this year. Booker, Hoey, Ben Bacher, I think the list continues. So, to have those supporting casts around me, it really does. Just makes my job so much easier. I can't thank those guys enough for the work they put in.
You got anything else for them? I'm good. All right, I got one last question. Favorite pro football team?
Oh, favorite pro football team. I'm gonna have to go with the Chargers. I'm just gonna have to go with the Chargers. I was on the whole Seahawks team, and then they won, and everybody hopped on the bandwagon.
They lose a few games, and now you're off.
No, I wouldn't say that. I just say last year, once they won the Super Bowl, everybody kind of hopped on the bandwagon. It was all Seahawks, go Seahawks. So I guess I'd have to say just local Chargers fan. So.
All right, Cole, it's been a pleasure having you join us.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
We want to wish you, at the time of this taping, you still haven't played what we hope is your first playoff game this year against Tesoro. We want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you guys very much.
Not only this year, but then in your career at Northern Arizona.
Thank you guys
Go Lumberjacks, huh?
Yes, sir. Go Jacks.
All right, we're going to step aside, take one more quick break, and when we come back, we'll preview the winter sports, and we also have a special feature where Steve caught up with a local legend. Don't go anywhere.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids
you.
how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
And we're back here still on campus at Newport Harbor High School for the very first episode of the Newport Harbor SportScene. And Steve, before we talk about the winter sports, I just want to thank you for reaching out and grabbing Cole Norris for our first guest, because what a great young man he is.
Phenomenal quarterback, great young man. He's almost a better kid than he is a better quarterback.
Yeah, and that's saying something, because he's a heck of a quarterback. All right, the winter sports are getting ready to start. We talked about at the time of this taping. We're wrapping up the fall sports, but in the winter there's 6 sports, just like there are in the fall. We've got boys and girls basketball, boys and girls soccer, we've got wrestling and girls water polo. I know for the boys in basketball at Estancia, they have a new head coach.
New head coach, Javi Castellano, steps in for Agustin Heredia, and it's a dream job for Javi. And he's very excited to take over this program, and it looks like it's going to be a good year for Estancia. We'll see what he does, because he did great things with the girls basketball team.
And one of the cool things is I know that he's brought on to his staff is Sam Nelson, who's an Estancia graduate, who I say is the best athlete I've covered in all my time covering the sports in Costa Mesa. Sam Nelson, who went on to play volleyball at UCLA and also walked onto the basketball team. But I know Sam, he's a great guy, but what he'll be able to bring to that coaching staff is exciting.
Sounds like a smart move.
Yeah, definitely. And then boys and girls soccer, you know, the 4 schools that we're covering, Corona, Newport, Estancia, and Mesa, we know that those teams always put out good soccer programs.
Yeah, you got a good club soccer in the area, so they put out good teams for sure. Javi's brother, Robert, is the coach at Estancia, and he's been doing a great job there as well. And
the wrestling teams, I must admit, I don't really know a whole lot about wrestling, but the cool thing is this is just a tease into the winter sports. And on future episodes of the sports scene, we'll hit on hopefully all the winter sports. So now let's jump to a sport that
we'll get Ozzie on the mat.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think he wrestles at about 90 pounds. Girls water polo is another sport, though, in the winter.
Yeah, that's another sport that's really great in this area. Recently, they had a national letter of intent signing here at Newport Harbor, and 5 girls signed on to go on to the next level. That was Chanel Schilling, Isabel Levesque, Kate Pipkin, Carly Capano, who's going to UCLA, and Rachel Whiteleg, who's also going to UCLA. So a pretty phenomenal program that they have at Newport Harbor.
That really is amazing to have that many girls from one team going on to play at the next level, and then to have 2 of them at UCLA, it's amazing.
It says a lot about the program, says a lot about the tradition.
Well, speaking of the tradition, I know you had a chance recently to catch up with Bill Barnett.
Bill Barnett is in his 49th year here at Newport Harbor, and it's his final season. And even the girls today, they talked about how important this season is for their coach, Coach B.
Well, I know you had a chance to catch up, so let's take a look at Steve's interview with Coach Bill Barnett.
Legendary, old school, workaholic. Those are some of the words to describe Bill Barnett, girls water polo coach at Newport Harbor High School. Coach Barnett is not one to indulge in praise, so he'd rather simply be known as Coach B. After this season, he'll be known as former head coach. This is his final season. It'll be his 49th and final year at Newport Harbor High. There are several memories for the man who was the head coach of the Olympic men's water polo team in 1988 and 1992. 10 CIF titles in boys water polo, 5 CIF titles in girls water polo. But the memories go beyond the hardware. So many memories and so many lessons taught. So many great games. He's ready for one more year. This is it. So, Coach Bill Barnett, I just had a few questions for you. I wanted to ask first, why did you want this to be your final season?
Well, I'm getting old, I'm getting tired. But also, I have 4 girls on this team as seniors whose sisters all played for me. So I thought I'd finish out with them.
And Coach Barnett, what do you ask of your players when they play on your team?
Hard work. That above all else.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
When you look back on your time at Newport Harbor, what are some of the things that stick out? What are some of the memories?
Well, there are a lot of memories. I would say the 2 that really stick in my mind was the boys' first CIF championship and then the girls' first CIF championship.
What made that so special?
Well, winning CIF is a very, very difficult thing to do. So, very important.
And Coach Barnett, does losing still hurt?
Losing always hurts. I'm very competitive.
And also, Coach, how's the back?
The back is terrible. They want to put some rods in there. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm worth about 5 minutes standing, 5 minutes walking, and then I got to sit.
And last question, Coach, how do you want to be remembered?
Someone that cared about the kids.
49 years coaching here at Newport Harbor. And Steve, another great call on your part, getting the legend Bill Barnett on the show.
What a great coach, amazing coach. You could tell he really cares about the kids.
So we're about out of time for our very first episode of the Newport-Mesa SportScene. Most people around here know you as the editor, the sports editor of the Daily Pilot, as a reporter, as the guy covering all the sports. But tell me, what's your thoughts after taping our first show?
I'm looking forward to more shows, looking forward to more on campus with Ozzie. The more campuses that we hit, I think the more fun we're going to have.
Yeah, and that's the plan. The plan is, like we said earlier, we started here on campus at Newport Harbor, but we'll be at Estancia, Costa Mesa, Corona del Mar. We want to get more of the student body involved, more of the kids involved. And one thing about this show is that I'm excited about, it's our first collaboration between Newport Beach TV and Costa Mesa TV. We've been trying to do something for years, and what better than to cover the local sports?
I have to agree with that.
So for Steve Virgen, I'm Dane Bora. We want to thank you for watching the Newport-Mesa SportScene, and you can be sure we'll be on campus at another school soon, bringing you more of the athletes that make Costa Mesa and Newport Beach and the sports scene what they are. Thanks for watching.